Thanks for tuning in to another edition of Where the 99 Lead. It's brought to you by the University of Pikeville, where we talk all things regarding the University of Pikeville. Where the 99 Lead, the name of this show came from the historic 99 steps that lead to the University of Pikeville campus, but also from campus back into the community. I'm Andrew Joyce, your host. Special guest today, Janessa Kilgore-Bowling. Welcome in.
Thank you.
Social Work Program Director. You've been here recently.
I have.
Back again because it's an important month.
It is.
We're going to talk about
Yes.
that. And Diane Van Cleave, Coordinator of Field Education at the University. Welcome in.
Well, thank you so much. Glad to be here.
We look forward to it. But before we talk about an important month and the topics for today, Janessa, if you could, a little biographical information. Where you come from, let's talk about life history and how you arrived at the University of Pikeville.
Absolutely. I am a native child, actually, born and raised right here in Pike County, educated right here in Pike County. Even in higher education, I am a product of Pikeville College.
Right.
I completed my undergraduate degrees there. Not going to give you the years because that would give me my age, right?
Never ask a woman's age.
Right. And went away to the University of Kentucky to get my graduate degrees,
Right.
and the opportunity came up for me to come back and give to the community that had given me so much. And, you know, a coal miner's daughter, first generation college student, it was my dream.
Absolutely.
So that's how I came back. And
You've been back on campus how long now?
about 7 years now.
A lot of changes.
A lot of changes, yeah.
And from the time you left until the time you came back in 2007, some changes as well.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. The atmosphere is a little more energized. The buildings, different changes, a lot of different changes there. New buildings, new faces in the faculty,
Sure.
And the student body has grown, and it's just beautiful. We're offering more programs. Our reach is now international.
Right.
Great study abroad programs. You know, a lot of those things that were only just a dream when I were there, now a reality. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing.
Absolutely. A lot of excitement, and we just continue to ride that wave.
Absolutely.
It changes every semester and just continued growth, and I get re-energized. It's great to be around students because they can re-energize and add a certain amount of youth to an old guy just by being around the students. Diane Van Cleave, Coordinator of Field Education. Let's have some biography on you.
It's interesting, while we come from different backgrounds, giving back to the community is really important. I actually come from Indiana and had the opportunity to come over and teach in Appalachia. And as I shared with Janessa and with others, this is a legacy for me, an opportunity to give back, an opportunity to help the community. I come from a background at University of Louisville, where I got my master's, Capella University is where I got my doctorate. I've been teaching here for 4 years. It is home. It is a great place to be.
Why is Pikeville that type of place that it can become home so quickly?
I think people are genuine and real, and it's about family. It's about, you know, caring about one another. It's a nice, safe, comfortable community to live in. I've just enjoyed every minute of it.
It's a special place, and a lot of times people that have never been here, they don't realize that until they've experienced on a level of living here, whether it be 6 months or 4 years, that you now feel like that it is home, and it certainly is a special place. Janessa, Diane, we talk about March. It's a busy time. It's March Madness for basketball fans, and of course, we're proud of our University of Pikeville basketball program, but it's a busy time on campus as well. Let's talk about some of those things. First off, March. This is what we're here for, National Social Work Month. We talked before, and I said when March is here, National Social Work Month, we've got to talk about this subject again, and let's talk about the history of National Social Work Month.
Well, National Social Work Month began in the 1960s. Most professions have a day that they are celebrated. You know, we have a law enforcement day. There's even a National Journalism Day.
Indeed.
And it was really important for social workers to rise up and to be recognized for the work that they do.
Right.
In our society right now, there are 650,000 highly skilled, highly educated social workers working to improve the well-being of people in their everyday lives and also improve life on a societal level. And we get so busy working that we often forget to celebrate what we do and to celebrate those triumphs. And that's why it's so important. And every year since, I think, 1965, we have had that day in, that month of March to celebrate what we do. And every year it has a different theme and it celebrates a different aspect of such a noble profession.
Diane, why is it important to celebrate, to take a month and set aside for social work to be recognized?
I think it shows that we care about ourselves, we care about community. If one of the things that if we're to grow as a profession, we need to get the word out. So it's a way for us to, with pride, say we are growing as a profession.
Right.
We are into so many different areas, and we are about making change. We are about social justice. We are about making lives better for individuals. And again, it's a great opportunity. One of the things that I say, that, and Janice and I have talked about this, is that I don't do social work. I am a social worker, which implies, implies that's my walk, that's my character, that's my attitude, and that's who I am 24 hours a day.
It's not a 9-to-5 job.
Correct.
Social work a lot of times involves after hours times where a social worker is involved in a situation. And I think March is an important month as we celebrate Social Work Month. I think it's an important time to recognize the fact that every social work situation doesn't have a negative ending.
Right.
The goal of social work is to find a positive ending, a resolution to a situation that involves the people that are dealt with. And I think it's a great time to bring to the forefront that there are positive endings out there.
Yeah, we're about strengths perspective. That's what social work is, building on assets of individuals, and we're about empowerment. How to not only make individual lives better, but how to make community lives better.
Absolutely. How will the U Pike Social Work Program celebrate National Social Work Month?
Every year we always have a lovely celebration. We invite our community partners, our alum, up to join us. But this year we're doing something a little different, something a little exciting, or I think it's really exciting.
It's going to be fun.
The theme this year is weaving resiliency and advocacy. Social workers work with people who are very, very resilient, and we're celebrating that, and we advocate for those populations as well. And as Diane and I were thinking about this theme and how do we use that? How do we really show our students what this means? We tossed around a lot of ideas, and it finally hit us that although we talk about this diversity, this rich fabric of our society full of diverse lives and approaches and challenges and triumphs, that we really need to find a way to show our students that we can come together and show this to our campus, to our community, and do it in a way that's meaningful and helps us to not only celebrate our profession, but where we're from. So we're actually going to be creating a social work quilt this month.
Very good.
Part of our celebration, we're just gonna get together, we're gonna listen to some music and have some snacks, and we're gonna decorate quilt squares about what social work embodies, about empowerment, about strengths, about we're a profession of hope. And to celebrate those stories. Everybody has a story.
Sure.
And it's those stories that weave a beautiful tapestry that gives social work meaning. And this also allows us to celebrate our Appalachian heritage. The quilt is very Appalachian.
Absolutely.
So we're going to be celebrating that we're rural social workers and the differences that we make in people's lives through this quilt. And we're going to be displaying it on campus throughout the rest of the semester. So we're really excited about that. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Social work graduates from the University of Pikeville obviously expected to change the world in every situation that they go into upon graduation. But I can see where social worker students can start changing the campus already. And through the social work program at the university, I can see where change is already taking place. Mm-hmm. Resiliency.
Absolutely.
Advocacy. Weaving. I've got that. Women's History Month is also in March. What's the U-Pike social work program doing to celebrate this occasion?
Well,
You want to start? Yeah,
Sure.
yeah, certainly start.
You know, we actually thought this is a beautiful way to tie in Women's History Month
Yes.
with Social Work Month. Social work is predominantly a female profession, obviously, a lot like nursing and education.
Right.
And who else is more resilient than women?
Indeed.
And women have been at the forefront of most of our nation's advocacy efforts. And one of the ways that we want to celebrate women and to celebrate that resiliency and that advocacy is we will be sponsoring a centennial suffrage march. This is the centennial year of the Women's Suffrage March or Parade. And there was never a more beautiful example of resiliency and advocacy than the suffrage movement.
Sure.
And and that's what we're focusing on. Social workers have been at the forefront of like I said, most of our nation's advocacy movements. For example, Jane Addams, who is often referred to as the mother of social work, was very important in the suffrage movement. Other social workers have been important in movements of social reform. Dorothea Dix helped to change the mental health movement from how we treated them by locking them up with chains and beating them and hiding them from society to treating them more humanely.
Sure.
And realizing that although they may suffer from a mental illness, they are human beings and have the same rights and privileges that we do. I like to think that most of our other social reformers, our Mother Teresa's, our Rosa Parks, they are all social workers at heart. They embody that social work ideal of looking for strengths in individuals to help them overcome their challenges, to restoring political and personal power so that people can take back control of their lives and realize their full potential. And that's what we're all about. So on the 28th, I think it is, of March, I'm hoping that the community, males and females alike, will join us downtown as we parade to celebrate the centennial of the suffrage parade and to celebrate women, to celebrate the triumphs that we've had, the how far we've come,
Sure.
but also to bring attention to how far we need to go. Women still don't have equal pay.
Sure.
There are a lot of areas that we still struggle with in terms of even women in academia. Women often shy from working in the academic environment, particularly if they plan to have a family, because it's not always conducive to raising a family. Women tend to shy away from professional sports sometimes for those very reasons.
Sure.
So we still have a long way to go before we are seen, as equal counterparts. And that's really what this is about, celebrating how far we've come and what we still have to accomplish.
And it started with some very, very brave women.
Very brave, yes.
And the ribbons that we wear are the colors of the women's suffrage, the modern day women's suffrage movement. See if I remember this correctly. White is for purity,
Yes.
Gold is for courage, and the purple is for justice.
Very good.
Yeah.
You're tuned to We're the 99 Lead. It's brought to you by the University of Pikeville. We talk all things regarding the University of Pikeville. And March is National Social Work Month, also Women's History Month. Joined by Janessa Kilgore Bowling, Social Work Program Director at the University of Pikeville, and Diane Van Cleave, Coordinator of Field Education. And we talk about social work, and I immediately get from you ladies that someone in a social work program that will be successful past graduation, they've got to have a passion for this business, for this career. And I can see that you certainly have that passion. And if someone's looking to go into social work and they're uncertain about their career down the road, I would imagine that you would suggest it's probably not for them.
Yeah, I think so. But I think what most people realize once they really become educated about what social work is, that they realize that there is something in social work for them. The problem that we have, I think, and in most areas, is social work has a bit of a stigma attached to it. A lot of that comes from the fact that, a lot of stereotypes surround the profession. Most people think that we are baby snatchers. You know, we take their kids, and social workers actually don't do that. But and there, you know, there's a lot of myths surrounding the field, like, you know, you don't make a lot of money and that sort of thing. But also the media often portrays us in a really negative light. When you see a social worker on the news, that something bad has happened. If you see them in a movie, they're usually taking someone's children. So there's a lot of stigma and to overcome. But once people become educated about what social work really is, they find that there's something for them. For example, most people at some time in their life, usually several times in their life, will encounter a social worker, and that social worker will help them in some way, even though they may not call themselves that. For example, if you ever seek services from a community mental health center, chances are the therapist that you see will have a social work degree. The veteran, the soldier who is going to war, his family will receive services from a military social worker while he is gone, to help him to help the family to adjust while he's away. And then when he returns, or when she returns, I should say, then that family will be assisted by a social worker to help reintegrate that soldier. If you're in the hospital and you're being released and you need medical assistance at home, the social worker is the person who helps you to get that. And so when people start thinking about all the different areas that they encounter a social worker, then they start thinking, hey, wow, there's something in that for me. You know, the person who helps your child at school is likely the school social worker. And so when they start realizing that, you know, they know there's so much more to this than just child protective services. And child protective services, don't get me wrong, it's a very important part of what we do. I mean, children are among the most vulnerable in our society, and they do need a big brother to watch out for them. But social work is so much more. And once people start realizing that, there's nothing in the field that would turn them away, I think.
Yeah, it's a fulfilling occupation. I think that I go to work no matter what social work occupation I have been in, and I have been in many, that it has been a thrill for me. It has always been something fulfilling and rewarding for me. And I don't know that too many people get that kind of satisfaction out of a work experience.
Absolutely. And I think you're right. I think the media portrayal is unfair in a lot of situations, because, as we talked about earlier, you don't see the positive outcomes. You don't see when a social worker has done their job and been an advocate and helped a situation through with a positive outcome. That doesn't draw the media's attention, but it's the negative outcomes. And as you said, the baby snatchers, that's the drama.
Well, and the very essence of social work is that we are not to be in the forefront. We are to be the facilitators in the background. We are not to put ourselves ahead of our clients. So we tend to be kind of more covert, more subtle in our approaches.
Well, I think a lot of that comes from the idea that we don't do the work for our clients. The idea behind social work is, you know, like we've said a couple of times, is to focus on the strengths and to empower our clients to do it on their own. If we do things for the people we serve, we aren't doing them any favors. The idea is we all have this beautiful capacity within ourselves, and sometimes we just need a little help reaching it. And that's really what social workers are there to do. You know, we've been educated and skilled in ways and techniques to help people reach their full potential. And we can't take credit for the fact that people grow and bloom. We just help them to get there. We're not doing it for them. We're just helping them.
There you go. Of course, we talk about National Women's History Month. We talk about National Social Work Month in the month of March. Also coming up, the university's first Women's Roundtable is coming up. When is that, and who will be among the women featured, Diane?
Well, it's actually the second annual Roundtable. We hope to make it a yearly event. I have a slip of paper because there are lots of names and I want to be sure to give everybody credit. On March the 26th, Tuesday, we will have a preception in booth lobby. They will be able to meet we'll have panelists, and I'll give you that information in just a moment, but there'll be music and refreshment and a time to look at the bios and just mix and mingle. There will also be a display of women's contributions. We have poster displays, which will be in the lobby during that time, and then that will be moved over to the first floor of the administration building on the Wednesday, the 27th and the 28th, along with some displays from the previous Black History Month in February. We're going to continue that over in that lobby area. The roundtable will start at 6:30 in Booth Auditorium, and we'll have Dr. Brigida Lopresto, the division chair from Humanities, is the coordinator, the organizer of the event, and also our moderator. Our subject comes actually from the National Women's History Month theme.
Yes.
It's a women's inspiration, meaningful innovation. Our four panelists, Judy Patterson, the First Lady, founder of the Judy's Place for Kids, Judge Sarah W. Combs, the Kentucky Court of Appeals judge, Josephine Richardson, the founder of Apple House, that's that multimedia center,
Sure,
and the owner of Cozy Corner and the Courthouse Cafe in Whitesburg. And then Leslie Combs, a state representative, is also invited to be one of our panelists. She's from the 94th District.
What happens at the women's roundtable discussion?
There'll be opportunity for each individual panelist to present themes and answer questions from the moderator, and then we're going to open it to a floor discussion. Usually, again, last year was very beneficial, very productive, and some of those things then serve as the feedback for us for the next event, for our next year's event.
Sounds like there's a tremendous panel lined up for that. Some of the women that are leaders in our community, and it's an exciting time. But it makes me curious: is the presentation just for women, or
no,
could somebody like me show up?
No. The opportunity. I think that one of the things that we want everyone to understand is that we all share in the experience of growth, and we all share in the experience of community development.
Right.
So absolutely, that's one of the things that we do want to push, is that everyone is invited and everyone will receive benefit, from attending and participating.
Let's get the dates again on that to pass along.
Okay, Tuesday, March the 26th. The preception,
Yes.
the time for visiting is from 6 to 6:30, and the roundtable discussion begins in Booth Auditorium at 6:30.
Very good. Make plans to attend, and we want to pass that along again as that time draws closer. So we look forward to the second Women's Roundtable coming up at Booth Auditorium March 26th on the University of Pikeville campus. You're tuned to Where the 99 Lead as we celebrate National Social Work Month, the month of March, and Women's History Month with Janessa Kilgore Bowling, the Social Work Program Director at the University of Pikeville, along with Diane Van Cleave, Coordinator of Field Education. And ladies, we've covered a lot of information. It's an exciting month on the University of Pikeville campus, and the Roundtable event. And then, of course, the parade. We want to get the date on that again.
Absolutely. March the 28th. We're still working out the details, but I'm pretty sure that we're going to gather in the city park about 4:30 that afternoon, and we'll march from there, and then we'll end up back in the city park with a little celebration of women there. Yes. And then on March the 25th, the community, our community partners, our alum, our trustees, and obviously you.
Thank you very much.
We would be more than happy to have you join us at 6 o'clock that evening up on campus in the student lounge to help us create our quilt. And I don't know about you, Diane, but he seems to know as much about social work as we do, and I don't think we're kind of considering you an honorary social worker. So
I'll be right there.
we would like to present you with this this mug that has the social work theme on it, weaving resiliency and advocacy, the power of social work.
Very nice.
Inside the mug, there's a lovely lapel pin, like Diane and I are wearing, and just as a way to say thank you and. To show the power of social work.
Without further ado.
There we go.
This may be noisy on the microphone, guys, but I can't help this.
beautiful.
There you go.
All right.
I'll do my part.
Absolutely.
And what an important part of the University of Pikeville campus, the social work program, but social workers as a whole in our community, in our world, what a difference they make. And a lot of times they aren't seen for the positive outcomes that come from social work, but only in the negative. And we just want to say thanks to all those that are involved in the program, whether it be undergraduate students that are still waiting to go into the field, those that are recent graduates, and of course to you two ladies who educate these social workers and prepare them to go out and change our community. That's what the University of Pikeville is all about, and I will proudly wear the lapel pin. Janessa Kilgore Bowling, Social Work Program Director, Diane Van Cleave, Coordinator of Field Education. Ladies, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much.
You've been tuned to another edition of Where the 99 Lead. It's a presentation of the University of Pikeville. We talk all things regarding the University of Pikeville, the leading university of Central Appalachia.